What's up? Weekly Mail Reviews here. Making a fucking video. Can you believe that? I really want to apologize for our lack of videos recently. I am the one that uploads all the videos, and I have been extremely busy finishing up my final project for my freshman year of college. So I've had basically zero time to upload any videos. I want to apologize for that, but they will be coming very, very frequently now, hopefully. But I am here with a concert review, this time of Opeth and Katatonia. So you can see up there, I probably pointed to the wrong fucking spots. Oh well. I saw this in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, at the Sherman Theater, April 27th. That was a Saturday, so I am a little late on this, but like I said, I've been extremely busy. This is my first chance that I have had to do this, you know. And if I apologize while doing this review, if I make no sense, kind of like I am now, it's because I'm running on 2 hours of sleep, because I have been at school finishing my project. I've been staring at a fucking computer for 27 hours. So, yeah. Anyways, this show was supposed to be in Allentown at the Crocodile Rock, or the Cock Rock, as I always say. The Cock Rock shut down because somebody got shot there recently or something, and they lost their liquor license and all this shit, and I could care less, because that place is the epitome of a shithole when it comes to a venue. I hate that place with a passion. So when it got moved, I was sad. I'm like, damn, that's a farther drive, but I know this venue is going to be so much better. This was kind of a drive. It was 2.5 hours away. But the only reason, I don't see myself making this drive to Stroudsburg that often. Because it is such a drive. It was kind of an annoying drive, and yeah, I mean, it's far away. If it wasn't for this show getting moved, I doubt, if this show was originally supposed to be in Stroudsburg instead of Allentown, I still doubt that I would have went. Only because I love Opeth so much, I still stuck with it, because I already had a ticket, you know what I mean? Like, I bought my ticket before the show got moved. Anyways, let's get into the show. Well, the theater is awesome. The theater is fucking huge. Definitely a very huge room that, you know, I could see a lot of really big shows and bands playing there. I mean, Megadeth was there recently, Lamb of God. They have some really, really big bands playing there, like, I don't know, Bullet for My Valentine. I saw were playing there. You know, Bullet's popular, even though their new album's not that good. Anyways, first band was Katatonia. I've been wanting to see Katatonia for a really long time. I wanted to go to the first tour that Opeth and Katatonia did together back in 2011, but I unfortunately could not go to that. And I wanted to go to Katatonia's headliner with the Devin Townsend project, but I could not go to that, unfortunately, either. So, well, when I found out that they were touring together, I got really excited, and damn, Katatonia, they really killed it. They played a long set. I mean, it's just Opeth and Katatonia, so, you know, both bands get a pretty long set, but they played like 11 songs, and I thought they sounded phenomenal. They really did. They were impressive to me. The crowd didn't get into them as much. It's more probably because there was a lot of people there that was just like, I don't want to see Katatonia, I want to see Opeth. And I bet you that's exactly how they said it too. I thought Katatonia sounded spot on to how they sound in the studio. The vocals were, I feel, the best part. I love Katatonia's vocals, how they're just mellow and all that. The lead vocalist nailed everything, and then the two guitar players do like vocal harmonies in the choruses or something like that, and they absolutely nailed them. So I think when it came to the execution of Katatonia's music, the vocals were definitely the best part. They were kind of quiet on the guitar end. I wish they would have been a little bit louder there. But overall, I mean, they did have a pretty good mix. I found that watching the bass player of Katatonia was extremely entertaining. He is a great bassist, a very, I feel, underrated bassist. Now that I've watched him play, I never really noticed how good of a bass player Katatonia actually has. But damn, he is mighty fine. I really, when some of his bass lines, I was just like, wow, that is very, very neat. And I never noticed that. There's a few things about some of the songs that they played that I just never noticed before, and I noticed live, and I was like, wow, that just makes the song so much better. And now, when I listen to it on the recording, I'll, you know, notice that and stuff like that. More like a kind of ambient leads or something like that I just never noticed. They played, 4 or 5 songs off of their most recent album, Dead End Kings. They played Dead Letters, The Racing Heart, which might be my favorite song off that album. They opened up with Buildings. They played Lethan, and I think another one, although I could be wrong. And then they played, you know, your awesome Katatonia hits like July, Forsaker, Tear Gas. That was awesome to hear. Damn it, I forget the other one. But overall, they did have a very solid set. They sounded good. I just wish the guitars would have been a little louder. But I'm just happy that I finally got to see Katatonia, because I've been wanting to see them ever since I really got into them. So, Katatonia did a great job. If you ever want to go see this band and you're on the fence about it, I definitely recommend going to see them. Next was Opeth. I've only seen Opeth once on their Heritage Hunter tour with Mastodon and Ghost last April, and I've been wanting to see Opeth headline for the longest fucking time, what feels like an eternity. And when you know, they announced this headlining tour, I went absolute ape shit, and I was so excited. And Opeth absolutely was godly as fuck. Oh my god, I loved it. You know, what's his name? Michael Ackerfeld. I probably said that wrong. Mikil, whatever. The singer. You know, he's been saying recently in some interviews that he's just kind of wanted to get away from extreme metal, and you know, that's how Heritage kind of came about and all this stuff. And they got a lot of criticism for their last headlining tour, where most of the stuff that they played was softer material from Heritage and their softer material from other albums. And when I saw them with Mastodon, they played about 9 or 10 songs, and only 2 of them were harsher songs from their older, more death metal days. And they, I thought, had an amazing blend of soft and heavy material in their set. They played only 2 songs off of Heritage. They opened up with The Devil's Orchard, and they played Hack's Process towards the end of their set, and they just threw in some other ones that were just amazing to hear. They played Atonement for the first time in the U.S. They're playing it on this tour for the very first time in the United States, and I love that song. That was very cool to hear. It's kind of like a softer song, but it's one of the, you know, it's softer, but it's kind of fucking weird at the same time, and it was just cool to hear. They played Ghost Reveries was the second song they played, and they just busted in that. That was an amazing song to hear. When you get to that kind of vocal melody in towards a couple minutes into the song, you know, the part that everybody knows, they just nailed that vocally, and they nailed everything about this song. It was almost like just listening to the studio version, but it was live, and they're playing it right in front of you. That's how it felt with every song. Opeth, you know, this being the second time I've seen them, the first time I was absolutely floored as well. But they just execute their music so fucking perfectly. Whatever is on that studio album, you will hear live. There's no tricks on those albums, you know. That is how it is, you know. When they play it live, it's perfect. The vocally, like I was saying, they just nailed it. They nailed the clean vocals. Ackerfeld did. He nailed his cleans. He nailed his growls. His growls are godly and just engulf you and just beat the shit out of you live. I think they're just so much more intense live than on the studio album. And just overall their mix was absolutely flawless. When it came to hearing their keyboards, to the drums, to the bass, everything was flawless in their mix. And just, you know, before I even saw Opeth the first time, I knew this band had an incredible amount of talent in every, you know, position in the band. But once you see them live, you know, your thoughts of how much talent they have goes through the roof. This band is just so absolutely fucking talented. So some of the riffs are just so complicated and twisted, and you don't. My personal opinion, I didn't really notice how twisted some of them are until I saw it live. Like the main riff in the song Ghost Reveries. I mean, that's a very complicated riff. And, you know, they nailed it, and he did the vocals at the same time, and it's just like, damn. You know, the drummer has an insane amount of talent. I ended up watching the drummer a lot throughout their entire performance. Just because he can just transition from different styles so perfectly, and he has such a unique style of drumming, doing shit that I've never heard of or anything like that. You know, he can go from the more 70s style drumming to the more, you know, death metal style, and he can just nail it perfectly. And he's a very entertaining drummer to watch and a very talented one. Every member of this band has an insane amount of talent. Getting back to their set, I mean, they like I said, they had the perfect match to me. I mean, I forget a couple songs that they played, but they ended with Blackwater Park. They played Demon of the Fall, an acoustic version of it. They played, I always say it wrong, Harlequin Forest off of Ghost Reveries. And they played Deliverance, and they played one song off of Damnation, but I forget what it was, and one song off of Watershed, but I forget too. It's been a few days, but overall, I thought their set was phenomenal. Oh, and they played White Cluster off of Still Life. That was phenomenal to hear, too. That is a great song. Now, I personally do not care what this band does live. They could have played an all-acoustic set, and I would have fucking loved it. They could have, you know, played Orchid in its entirety or something, and I would have fucking loved it. No, I'm not saying Orchid's a bad album. I'm just saying, you know, they could play the oldest shit that they have. They could play an acoustic set. I would pay to see Opeth every single fucking time that they come around. To me, they're one of the tightest bands live and one of the best live bands to me. People might think, well, they're boring. They just stand there, and I can see that point, but I disagree with it at the same time, just because they're so phenomenal. And Ackerfeld as a front man, he is just awesome. He really has his ways of getting the crowd, I don't want to say into it, but connecting with them. In between every song, he really has a lot of crowd interaction. I love that about him and about Opeth. He's a very funny guy. He was making jokes about how Every Rose Has Its Thorn by Poison is a shit song. Someone yelled Freebird right in the beginning, and he was just saying, well, we might as well get the fuck out of the way now. You know, he's a funny guy, and I enjoy, and he makes seeing Opeth live so much more enjoyable. I always am out of, you know, at a loss of words for how great Opeth was. They had a perfect set, and I will see this band over and over and over and over and over again. I really will. You know, he was saying that once this tour is over, this is the last tour that they're doing behind Heritage, and that they're going to take a break and write some songs and record and have a new record out next year, and come back and do some more touring. And you know, I'm stoked for that. I'm absolutely already, you know, I know there's what 7 months left in 2013, but when it comes to some releases that will happen in 2014, Opeth is my #1 by far, and they will remain up there till that album comes out. I strongly encourage you all to see Opeth if you haven't yet. Just a phenomenal band. To me, one of my personal favorites, a band that I just cannot get enough of. You know, some of those bands, some bands you just cannot get enough of, and that's how I feel with Opeth. I'm stoked on their new album. I'm stoked about everything about Opeth. But anyways, this was an awesome tour. Go to it. Thanks for watching. Like I said, I'm gonna hopefully be able to upload a lot more videos, you know, soon. So have a good day. I'm gonna go sleep because I can't speak right now. I was blurred speech. Bye.